Avatar's been out for a weekend, and I wanted to give my opinion on each character. What better way to do that than a tier list? Obviously, it's way too early, so many of these placements will be completely off. Think of this more as my first impressions rather than a definitive list. Aang has fantastic air mobility in a game where anti-airs are weak. However, his damage is on the lower end, and his toolkit feels lacking compared to some of the other characters. For those reasons, I'm going to put him in B tier. Katara, for my money, is the weakest character in the game. She's really hard to play, her execution is super demanding, and her damage is low. In my opinion, her ceiling isn't high enough to justify the difficulty, and so I don't think she's worth the effort. Her brother, on the other hand, is extremely strong. This character is a nightmare to defend against. His boomerang is great for set play, and if you didn't know, you can use negative edge to control when you catch it, which allows you to cancel the recovery of any move. I think he's a little bit busted right now, and he actually might be the best character in the game. Toph is obnoxious to fight, but I do think she has some weaknesses. She has loads of armoured and invincible moves, which are annoying to deal with. However, her frame data isn't the best, and I think once people learn the matchup, she's going to fall off. She does do a ton of damage though. I don't think she's bad, I just don't think she's top tier. I'll put her in A tier. Zuko has great mobility, he has a dive kick, and he's also great at controlling the screen. Although he could be strong, his damage is low, and I also feel like it's a bit too hard to build redemption at the moment. For those reasons, I'm going to put him in B tier, but he's very close to A. A lot of people have been saying you should treat Firelord and Focused Azula as different characters. In my opinion, that's the wrong way to think about it. It's true they have very different playstyles, but I think if you're an Azula player, you need to learn both. Having access to the same character in two different playstyles makes her very versatile, and is going to give her a great matchup spread. I think Azula is a very strong character. She's relatively easy to use, she has good damage, she has some oppressive tools, and is generally very versatile. Personally, I think she's S tier. As I mentioned, I think Azula players are going to want to learn both modes, so I'm not going to rank them differently. Korra is this game's all-rounder. She has a versatile toolkit without any major weaknesses. She does everything fairly well, but lacks some of the crazy tools that the top tiers have. She's maybe not S tier, but her lack of weaknesses definitely make her a strong character. Now for Kyoshi, who's the character I've been playing the most. I'm working on a Kyoshi guide right now, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. I think Kyoshi is very strong. In my opinion, she has the best mid-range in the game. She can convert from any hit, and these aren't small conversions either. Her damage is very high. She has a lot of strong tools. Although her guard points are hard to use, they will give her unique counterplay in many situations. She also has a Zangief level 3 for some reason. Her main weakness is that her specials cost flow. As the game goes on, being unbalanced is going to be fatal. For this reason, you do need to be careful with your meter and sometimes cut your combos short. This is Kyoshi's main weakness, but I'm not convinced it's enough to knock her down to A tier. I'm optimistic about this character. Zaheer is another strong character. He's a tech-heavy character that's going to be hard to play. I think the payoff is there though. His assists can be oppressive, and he's going to have some nasty mix-ups. He's a specialist character, but I think he has the ceiling to make him worth learning. For me, he's S tier. Ozai has potential. He's another character who changes massively depending on the support you pick. His freedom of movement does allow him to hit some crazy clips, but he does feel a bit limited. He's probably the most unfinished feeling character in the game. It feels like he's missing a big chunk of his toolkit, and he doesn't even really have critical hits. I think for these reasons, he has to go in C tier. Once he's finished, I think he'll be strong, but right now, he's just missing half his kit. Avatar Aang is another character that feels like he's missing a lot of tools. What he does have is actually quite strong, but it does feel like he's missing some of his kit. I would put him in A tier, but he just feels unfinished. The first time I played against Nightmare Korra, I thought she was incredibly strong. She was teleporting all over the screen and a nightmare to keep track of. As I played more matches, I realised that she's quite easy to stuff, and she seems to have a lot of weaknesses. I don't think she's anywhere near as strong as I first thought. She's not a bad character, but I don't think she's well rounded enough to be top tier. So those are my initial impressions of the cast. Let me know who you think is strong in the comments. As I mentioned, I'm currently working on a Kyoshi guide, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.